Today's video was inspired by this cookbook called 5 Ingredient Dinners. It's one of my favorite cookbooks by America's Test Kitchen. And the reason why I love this concept is because A, when you use fewer ingredients to make a recipe, it's probably gonna be cheaper, right? And then also when you limit your ingredients, it's also going to inherently probably make your dish a lot simpler, which are two things that definitely everyone is looking for to get dinners on the table for busy weeknights. So I've got some really delicious recipes to share with you today. Let's get into it. Okay, so a super simple but delicious recipe. We are going to make some bacon ranch baked chicken. So for the first dinner, we're gonna need chicken breast, broccoli, mozzarella cheese, ranch dressing, and bacon. So I've got some of my chicken breast that I got from Good Chop in the bottom of my baking dish here. I've just sprayed this with a little bit of nonstick cooking spray. I've got ranch dressing here. I made this homemade, but you can obviously use bottled ranch dressing if you'd like. I've got some mozzarella cheese, and then this is that thick cut bacon also from Good Chop that I baked in the oven. And I just cut this into small pieces. Basically, we're going to assemble all of this into the bacon ranch chicken, and then we're gonna have broccoli on the side. Okay, so we need some chopped up bacon for this recipe. So I just took this bacon and I put it on a baking sheet and I just baked it in the oven on some parchment paper, probably for about 25 minutes at 400 degrees. And I love this Good Chop bacon. It is so thick and delicious. It's one of my favorite meats that I get from them. So I'm just taking this out and putting it on a paper towel lined plate just so that it can crisp up as it cools. I'm gonna take 3 pieces of this bacon and we'll go ahead and chop this up for the chicken. I am going to season this chicken breast on both sides with some salt and pepper. I'm also going to add just a little bit of garlic powder. And then I'm just going to drizzle a couple tablespoons of ranch over these chicken breasts. Make sure obviously you don't touch the chicken with the spoon and then don't get back in there. Once I get it all on there, I am going to use the spoon to spread it out just a little bit. I'm going to use mozzarella cheese for this recipe, but I feel like this would be good with really any kind of cheese that you want to use. If you want to use cheddar, or a different kind of cheese, I think that would be just fine. So this is fresh mozzarella, so I'm just gonna kind of chunk it up and add it to the top of the chicken. A little bit more cheese never hurt anybody, right? It's probably not entirely true, but you know, whatever. This is a good low carb meal if you're doing low carb. Okay, I'll save a little chunk of this for the dogs. They'll enjoy that. All right, so then we're just gonna top this with those bacon crumbles. These are already cooked, but obviously they'll get nice and crispy once this continues to bake in the oven. All right, that's it. So I've got my oven at 400 degrees. I'm actually gonna bake this covered for the first probably about 15 minutes just to make sure that that bacon doesn't burn. Do you want a piece of cheese? It's like, what is this? You want a piece of cheese too? Good boy. It's like, what is this? I was trying to sleep. Do you want it? There you go. Murphy's like, I'll take more if he doesn't want it. Okay, so here is our chicken. I said chicken bacon ranch. Yeah, it's our bacon ranch chicken. If you guys like the chicken bacon ranch flavor, I highly recommend this. It's really good. The chicken turned out nice and tender. I just cooked some broccoli in the microwave and I have that on the side. But yeah, this is really good. I even think it would be super like kid friendly too, and obviously low carb or keto. So I'll have this recipe linked down below. Okay, so I'm really excited to let you guys know that today's video is in partnership with Good Chop. I've actually worked with them here before on my channel and I love featuring them because I truly do love their products. They actually will give you access to high quality meat, seafood, chicken, pork delivered straight to your door. It's super high quality and you guys are gonna get a freaking sweet discount with the code that I have for you today. You can actually get your first box for $50 off, which is a huge deal. I'm gonna tell you more about the discount code later, but let me tell you some of the reasons why I really love using Good Chop. One thing I really love about Good Chop is that their boxes are fully customizable, so you can choose just exactly what you want in your box, whether you want more chicken, more beef, more bacon. Actually, you should try their bacon. Their bacon is delicious. It's some of the most delicious bacon I've ever eaten in my life, and I'm not just saying that. You can actually choose from 60 plus high quality cuts, so there's a ton of variety. And you guys know that we get a lot of local meat, and honestly, I find their meat to be just as good of quality as the meat that we can get here locally, which is sometimes hard for people to get. Like, depending on what area of the country that you live in, you don't always have access to high quality meat and seafood in your grocery store. And so using a service like Good Chop is not only, what? I just put a new one up. Okay, all right, okay. What was I saying? I think I was saying that sometimes it can be really hard to find good quality proteins depending on what area of the country that you live in. And so this kind of takes all of the guesswork out of it, right? Like, so today we're talking about simple, you know, minimal ingredient meals. And obviously with that, you want to make sure that the food that you're getting is high quality. And everything I've gotten from Good Chop has been awesome quality, especially the seafood. Like, if you live in the Midwest like me, it can be really hard to source like good, decent seafood. So that's one of the reasons why I use them as well. All of their products are sourced from the USA. So unlike many other companies, Good Chop actually sources its meat and seafood exclusively from American farms and fisheries. So by choosing Good Chop, you can support local family farms and independent ranchers right here in the US. Also, the best part is that if you're worried, don't be, because it's entirely risk-free. Good Chop has a 100% money-back guarantee. They are so confident that you're gonna love their product that they offer this, so there's definitely no risk for you to try it out. So if you guys wanna take advantage of this awesome deal, I highly recommend it. I'll have a link in the description box below. It's goodchop.com/YouTube, and you want to enter code JenChapin120, that's JenChapin120, and you're gonna get $120 off across your first 4 boxes of Good Chop. And like I said, it comes out to $50 off the first box, which is a super awesome deal. So make sure that you take advantage of that. Once again, I'll have the link in the description box below. I'll also have it on the screen right here if you want to tap that. goodchop.com/YouTube, use code JenChapin120. I would just recommend, you know, ordering, especially if you have like a family size like I do. I think even the smallest size of box they have is definitely sufficient for a week's worth of meals, if not longer. And then place your grocery order, you know, for online delivery, wherever you want to get it. Get your produce and your pantry staples and whatever you need, and boom, you got dinners for the week. And actually, it's still nice enough here in the Midwest that you could grill a lot of this stuff too. I also find that grilling is another shortcut to kind of like get dinner on the table fast. And bonus, there's not a ton of dishes either, right? So I hope you guys take advantage of this awesome deal. So again, I'll have that link down below, and thank you for always supporting me when I have sponsored content here on my channel. I really appreciate it. Next, we're gonna cook some of these steaks from Good Chop. So for this meal, we'll need steak, some kind of greens or salad kit, potatoes, dressing for your salad, and then salad toppings. Super simple. Right now what I'm doing is just seasoning these steaks with seasoned salt on both sides. We're gonna cook these in the sous vide, so I'll show you guys that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cook these steaks in the sous vide, and you guys always have a lot of questions about it, so I thought I would kind of show you the process from start to finish. So I've got my 4 steaks here that I got from Good Chop. 2 of them are ribeyes, and 2 of them are New York strips, which is fine. They're of varying thicknesses, but I'm gonna have them in the sous vide for a couple of hours, so that'll be fine. I've got 3 Ziploc bags. I'm gonna use 1 bag for the strips, and I think I'll use 1 bag each for the ribeyes because they're a little bit larger. I have my water bath here. This is basically like a whole set that you can buy on Amazon. It comes with the water tub and this part, which is actually the part that heats the water for the sous vide. You don't have to have this tub. You can actually sous vide in like a large stock pot or something like that. So if you just want to, if you're interested in sous vide and you just want to purchase this part, I'll link everything down below, but this is the best way that I have found to cook steaks. The other thing I have found that makes it faster is that I put hot water in the bath from the outset so that the immersion heater doesn't have to heat up all of the water. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in. Okay, and this is set to 138 degrees, which is about medium. So I'm gonna go ahead and start heating that up. And then this is a rack that fits on the top of the water bath. And this is how you're going to clip the bags of whatever protein that you're cooking, in this case steak, so that it will stay kind of submerged in the water. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put my meat in here. I used to think that you had to have a vacuum sealer to sous vide meat, and you don't. I mean, you can if you want, but it's just an extra step that takes a lot more time. Okay, so this will beep when it heats up, but basically you just wanna put your seasoned steak in here and then leave the top of the bag open. And as you submerge the meat in the water, it will automatically displace the air in there, so it will kind of create its own vacuum seal. And then I'll seal the top, and then I just basically clip these on here like this so that the meat doesn't float to the top. These on here, and then you do either, well, you can either replace the water as it evaporates, but since this tub has a lid, I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. If you have things in a sous vide bath for a long time, eventually, obviously, some of the water is going to evaporate, so that's why you want to put the lid on. But if you're just using a pot, you can, you know, cover it with foil or saran wrap or whatever you want to do. It'll be fine, and then if the water level goes down a little bit, you can add more water. So I like to cook steaks for a minimum of like 90 minutes to 2 hours. You can actually leave it in there for longer than that because the water is gonna hold at a constant temperature, right? So it's only going to cook your meat to that temperature, and then it's gonna hold it at that temperature. Obviously, you don't wanna leave it in there like all day or indefinitely unless it's like a huge piece of meat, because eventually the meat will start to break down. But that's kind of the beauty of sous vide, is that you can cook it whenever you're ready for it. And by cook it, I mean sear it, which is what we're gonna do. We're gonna sear it after we cook it in the sous vide. But yeah, super easy. If you are ever nervous to like buy a really good steak because you think that, oh my gosh, it's expensive and I am not going to know how to cook it properly, you can always count on cooking it properly using a sous vide. I think it's perfect and I highly recommend it, especially with the steaks that I get from Good Chop. I always get really good results with their steaks using the sous vide. So along with the steak, I am gonna make some roasted potato wedges. So I just have I have 5 potatoes here that I scrubbed up. I'm gonna leave the skins on them because it's just a lot easier that way. And I'm gonna cut each potato into 8 wedges. So they're approximately all the same size. And I've got a parchment paper lined baking tray over here. I'm just gonna put those on. I'm gonna keep the potatoes really simple and just drizzle them with some avocado oil. You could use really any kind of oil that you'd like. And then just sprinkle them with salt and pepper and some garlic powder. I really love to use floury seasoning salt on my potatoes, but I don't have any. I'm totally out, so I need to get some more of that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna toss the potatoes around with the seasoning and the oil. And then the trick to getting these crispy is to arrange them cut side down on the baking sheet. It does take a little bit more time, but you will make sure that they get that crispy, you know, crust on the outside. And then we'll flip them over halfway through so the other side can get crispy. These are gonna go in a 400-degree oven for probably about 30 minutes or until they're cooked through. And like I said, we'll flip them halfway. So we're gonna make a salad. I have this head of iceberg that is actually left over from last week. I got it on sale and I haven't done anything with it yet. So I'll show you guys a trick. Maybe you know this, but if you take a head of iceberg and you slam it down on the counter, the core will come out. You gotta do it kind of hard. And then you can just pull it out like that. And then typically what I do is, like tonight, I'm gonna make a salad out of this. So I'll just cut off the part that I need for the salad, and then I'll leave this whole put it back in the fridge, and then it will stay, you know, it won't brown as much because there's not as much cut surface on it. These have roasted for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and put them back in. They'll probably end up taking another 20. I feel like potatoes always take longer than I think they're going to, but I did flip them over. All right, so the potatoes are done. I've got a skillet here. I've just got a little bit of avocado oil in the bottom of there, and I'm gonna heat this skillet up really hot because we're going to use this to sear the steaks. And then I've just got a plate back there to rest the steaks on. So all we have to do is just remove, and then I just have a towel over here so I can put the bags on there, obviously, because they're wet. All right, so since these steaks have already been cooked, like obviously they're already cooked through, all we want to do is add a little bit of color to the outside of them. So you literally just have to sear it for like a minute on each side. After I was done searing, not steering, the steaks, I put them on a plate to rest, and we had this for dinner with the roasted potato wedges and a salad on the side. I just used iceberg lettuce with some toppings I had in the fridge. I had some of that bacon left over, which was really good on the salad, and then I had some homemade ranch dressing in the fridge as well. So you guys can see how perfectly this steak is cooked. This is why I really love cooking with the sous vide, because it cooks it to a perfect temperature. There's no like guesswork involved. You don't have to use a meat thermometer, and it turned out totally tender and delicious. Yum. Okay, so next up on our 5-ingredient dinner recipes is a salmon with cucumber salad and rice. I feel like I've shared this before on my channel, but I think it's been quite a while. So I've got this delicious sockeye salmon from Good Chop. I also have some cucumber. Now, basically, I just sliced this up thin on a mandolin. You don't have to have a mandolin. It just makes it a lot easier to slice the cucumbers uniformly. And then I've got some rice vinegar, toasted sesame oil, and some sushi rice. Okay, so I washed my rice, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my little Dash rice cooker. I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of water, and then we'll just turn the lid on, set it to cook, and it'll cook for the amount of time automatically. I love this little rice cooker. For the cucumbers, I am going to add 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. This is just like a really simple cucumber salad. I really like this recipe because basically kind of eat everything together in a bowl. So I like to put the rice in the bowl, and then I put the salmon in there and the cucumber salad. It almost reminds me of a poke bowl. Obviously it's not because the salmon is cooked, but that's kind of what the flavors that it kind of reminds me of. I'm gonna season with some salt, pepper. I'm gonna stir this up, and I'll give it a taste and see if it needs more salt or anything, and then I'll just hold this in the refrigerator until we're ready to eat. So I have seasoned this salmon very simply with just salt and pepper. I've got it on a plate here, and then I've got a pan with a little bit of avocado oil in it. So I'm just gonna sear this for about 4 to 6 minutes per side until it gets, you know, obviously cooked through. My rice, it should be done in about 5 minutes, and I'll show you what everything looks like put together. All right, so my rice is done. Let me get a towel. I'm just gonna flip this rice out into a bowl so I can toss it and season it with some rice vinegar. Got my handy little rice paddle here. Okay, so I'm just gonna season this with about a tablespoon of rice vinegar, add some salt and pepper. Okay, so here is our salmon with rice and cucumber salad. This is a really good meal. My kids really like it, so I highly recommend this. It's obviously full of flavor, super simple. You can make it very quick with just 5 ingredients.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You like those cucumbers?
Yeah, they taste salty.
Yeah, I've made them before. They're good. Okay, so we are gonna make our next 5-ingredient dinner is going to be fried shrimp with green beans and baked potatoes. I already have the baked potatoes in the oven. All I do for my baked potatoes is I scrub them, I drizzle them with a little bit of oil and sea salt, poke some holes in them, and I'll cook those in the oven at 425 for about an hour. And then our other 4 ingredients are gonna be the shrimp that I got from Good Chop. I went ahead and put these in a Ziploc bag because I'm going to shake them with some of this Zatarain's fish fry. So we're gonna make fried shrimp. And then I have some cocktail sauce for the shrimp, and then I also have some green beans, which I'm gonna cook on the stove here. These are actually fresh green beans that I got from the farmer's market last weekend. And I do find when I'm cooking fresh green beans that I have to cook them for quite a while. My family likes them soft and not crunchy. So I just have some water in the bottom of this pan. I'm gonna add some salt, and then I will cook these. I don't know, we'll probably start with like 20 minutes and see if that's long enough, and then we'll just season them to taste with salt and pepper and butter. Okay, so I'm not going to use this whole bag of the fish fry stuff. I'm probably just going to use about half of it, and then I'll save the other half for another use. So there should be enough moisture on the shrimp to coat everything, but basically I'm just going to shake this up. I've got a pan over here on the stove with some vegetable oil, and I'm just going to shallow fry these shrimp. Shrimp do not take that long at all to fry because they're obviously very quick cooking. So maybe just, you know, 3 to 4 minutes total. Okay, so these shrimp only took a couple of minutes to fry. I've never used this brand of fish fry before. If I used it again, I would definitely add some seasoning to it, or I would buy the spicier one. Just make sure that when you take your shrimp out of the fryer, you salt them while they're still warm. Obviously, we serve this with a baked potato and some green beans and some cocktail sauce. Okay, so once again, I have that awesome Good Chop discount for you guys. It's $120 off across your first 4 boxes. So I'll have that discount code and that link in the description box below. I will also have all of these recipes linked down below as well in case you want to try any of them. Let me know if there's any that you want to try. And once again, I also recommend this 5-ingredient cookbook, so I'll link that as well. And if you want to watch my mega chicken dinners video that's like 2.5 hours long, you can click on the screen right here. I'll talk to you later. Bye.